go live to Brisbane. The Shadow Treasurer, Ted O'Brien, is speaking to the media on the latest inflation data.
The market forecasts, especially over the last hour or two. Labor has basically said to mortgage holders in Australia, you need to pay more. The average mortgage holder is paying around $21,000 extra every single month on interest payments under this government. It's only going to get harder. For us to have the Treasurer today to suggest that Labor is managing the budget well is an extraordinary statement. This is on the same day that it has been revealed that there is a $60 billion black hole in Labor's budget. Not only is spending out of control, they don't even know what they're spending their money on. But what is an absolute certainty is Labor will continue to waste taxpayer money. And when Labor runs out of money, we know what they do. They just come after more, which is why taxes will go up and debt is likely to hit $1 trillion within months. Happy to take any questions. I'm happy to take questions on. If we do the economy first, we can, and I'm very happy to talk about other topics if that's okay.
How much higher do you expect inflation to go at this trajectory?
Well, I'll let the RBA, Treasury and the market forecast how high inflation will go, but what's clear from today's figures is it's exceeded expectation. For the Treasurer to stand here today and say, you know, while it's not welcome, he expected it, really? When has the Treasurer been up front with the Australian people? He has never been up front. He's not up front on inflation. He has not been up front on the impact on the cost of living crisis that Labor is causing. What we do know is prices are just going to keep rising. And I'm thinking about the average mum and dad who are sending the kids to school, and they know that everything they pay for, it's just getting worse. And this government is refusing to face up to the problem. If the government is not responsible for its own spending, well, who is? And this is the issue we have. I would have more respect for the government if the Treasurer stood up and said, look, we recognise that this is the highest spending we've had in 40 years, and we're trying to do something about it. But he refuses to concede that something has to change. And if the Treasurer of the country thinks that he's doing a swimmingly good job, then it doesn't give Australian households much hope. How are they going to survive? They're the ones that we're focused on. Australian families are hurting right now. And all I hear from the Treasurer is he thinks he's doing a really good job. I don't believe that. And the figures bear out the fact that he's doing a very poor job.
Where specifically...
Energy bill rebates, you know, we had the support, it's ending in 2025, but we asked the Treasurer and he said there's plenty of cost of living measures, tax cuts, cheaper medicine, bulk billing, student debt relief, but he's ruled out any more energy rebates. Is that critical, do you think? I
think the main thing with energy is the government is refusing to deal with the problem at its source. I mean, energy costs have gone up by around about 40% under the Labor government. And we have had energy experts, we've had the opposition calling it out for years, saying you have to deal with the problem at hand. This is a problem of failed policy. But every single time you hear the Prime Minister, the Treasurer or the Energy Minister hop up, again, they think they're doing a great job. They claim that this is the cheapest form of energy that Australia could have, and yet prices have gone up by 40%. You know, you can't take Australians for mugs. And that's what Labor is doing. Energy is a huge problem, not just for the households but for industries. It's why households are becoming poorer and our businesses are becoming weaker. It is why our living standards have dropped as things like energy, up 40% under Labor. They are continuing to roll out a failed energy policy. That should be their primary area of concern when it comes to energy.
Where else should the government cut spending?
Well, when it comes to spending, there's a whole bunch of areas which are wasteful. I think the starting point for the government is, number one, they should be introducing quantifiable fiscal rules, basically rules of your budget to contain your spending. This is the first Treasurer since Peter Costello that has not had quantifiable fiscal rules. If you look at the latest IMF report, it talks about the problem that we're going to have in Australia of inflation being higher for longer. Now, it calls for the importance of fiscal responsibility. If the government is not prepared to put rules on the Treasurer for his spending, he's just going to keep on spending. The second thing the government needs to do is what Australian households do. You know, if you're at home and you know your family budget's not too good, you sit down and you go line item by line item And you just do the right thing. You rein in your spending. You take out any wasteful spending. The government's not prepared to do that. And again, it's why it's been revealed today. There's an additional $60 billion that the government did not tell the Australian people about before the election. It came through in the MyEFO report in December. In that press conference, the Treasurer didn't even mention it. $60 billion. Now, what is that black hole about? What's he going to be spending the money on? If the government cannot tell us, well, who can? It's the Treasurer's budget. He was asked today in a separate press conference about that $60 billion black hole, and he referred to it as a small deterioration. I mean, $60 billion, is this the way the Labor Party runs the Australian economy? You know, what's $60 billion between Labor friends? Seriously?